Vashon Winery was begun in 1986 by Will Garrier and Karen Peterson. Willie was a pilot for Delta Airlines. He met Karen down in California when he was flying, in those days, Western Airlines, and they fell in love with wine. The wine was pretty close to them in the Santa Cruz Mountain area and also up in the Sonoma Valley. They learned to make wine from Joseph Swan, who was also a pilot, I later learned. And Joe had a unique way of making wine, and early on was making Zinfandel and Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. So Willie took some of the things he learned from Joe Swan and moved up here because Karen was from Bellevue, and somehow they settled on Vashon Island. So that was 1986. You know, I'm not sure when they bonded. They probably bonded their winery a little bit earlier, and I consider their start date when they released wine. So I came about 1992. I remember the first harvest. We were crushing Cabernet Sauvignon that first year for me, and you know, so I've been with the winery for whatever, how many years that is. Almost 14 years, I think. And then in 2001, I had a chance to buy the winery. Willie had retired as a captain at Delta Airlines. He was looking at doing some other things. And today, we produce 500 cases. Actually down, Willie and Karen, they used to produce approximately 1,500 cases, 1,000 to 1,500. And I've kind of narrowed what we do best, and I run a pretty lean operation. So when Will and Karen owned the winery, when I worked with them, we made basically 4 wines. We did Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Semillon, and Chardonnay. And we got all of our grapes from Paul Porteous Vineyard over in Zilla. And, you know, over the years, we learned how to work with those grapes. When I bought the winery, I didn't have any intentions of changing anything because I liked the style of wines. Those are all Bordeaux varieties, not all of them. So I like Bordeaux varieties. So my favorites, and the ones that I think we do best, are Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot. We've added Cabernet Franc to that. Well, the things that make Vashon Winery unique are a number of things. First of all, I tend to look for grapes from cooler sites. So Yakima Valley versus Red Mountain, which is part of Yakima Valley, but on the eastern edge, Walla Walla, Wahluke Slope. Those tend to be warmer, hotter areas. They produce more sugars, and therefore they produce more alcohol. So our wines tend to be just a little bit lower in alcohol, under 13%. And that's big, and I'll explain those differences. The other thing is I rarely use any new oak. I use a lot of oak, but it's all what we would call neutral oak. I'm not interested in the flavor of oak. I'm interested in the effect of oak, and I'll describe that to you. And then the third thing that we do that's unique is, well, I ferment most of my red grapes. Like everybody else, you know, we ferment them in bins. And when they're done fermenting, I let them sit in contact with the skins, a lot like leaving your tea bag in your cup of tea. And what happens, you get more tannin, you get more flavor, and you definitely get more polyphenols, which are those things that they say are good for you. And I believe that the polyphenols allow our wines to last forever. It's an antioxidant, it's very powerful. And I could pull wines out of my cellar right now from 87. You know, what is that? 24 years old, and that wine would be absolutely beautiful. So we also have a website, vashonwinery.com, and I'd like people to go to that because this is our 25th anniversary, and I'm just kind of upgrading that, and I'll have pictures from the past. You can buy wines from the website by emailing me and placing an order. And you can get descriptions of all the wines. I think you can catch the flavor of Vashon Winery, the history. And, you know, I hope that you visit the website.